those conditions do exist where workers can have those better working conditions. Like what we're asking for is very reasonable. If the objective of the employer is to create an environment where people can really have long, deep, experienced careers. At legal aid, I mean, when I was at Bronx Defenders, meeting various legal aid attorneys, because you're all in court, you end up speaking while you're sitting in that first row waiting for your client's cases to get called. You come to appreciate someone who's been doing this work for 20, 30 years, who has seen a lot of the changes go by and can give you a little tip on how to argue something, or hey, I've been in front of this judge before, this is what they're like, this is what to expect. And when you have people, as you're describing, Katie, who are being senior means what, year 3 or something because of the attrition, because people keep quitting. It's tough to keep that institutional knowledge, keep what you have remaining after people leave, develop any new institutional knowledge, and just have a sense that no matter what comes for our clients in the courtroom or other areas, like we have the experience to deal with that, like at a longer term view. Who wants it? I remember having some clients challenge me when I was first starting out as a criminal defense attorney. They'd look me up and down and say, wait, you're my lawyer? Can I get someone with more experience?
How old are you?
Yeah.
Are you old enough to be here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because they want someone who knows their shit, right? There'd be, at least the clients I was representing, were charged in criminal court, facing prison time. And once you start representing clients in Supreme Court, felony prison time, 3.5 to 15 for a gun, as you were talking about gun cases earlier in the federal context. In state court, at least in New York, if you don't have a prior felony or you're not a predicate felon, 3.5 to 15 years. That's what they're facing. So clients want to know, do you know what you're doing?
Can you do this?
Are you experienced? Are you going to work hard on my case? I know you got other clients, but are you going to work hard on my case? Because I don't want to spend the next 3.5 to 15 years in a cage. If you can help me with that. So, at the end of the day, it's to help our community. Like, I'm born and raised in Washington Heights, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen people in my family or in my sort of neighborhood environment, like, get arrested, get deported, end up in foster care, all that kind of stuff. And while some people may just think, well, that was a different time, or things are getting better, or at least they had an attorney, it's like, you want experienced advocates by your side who can help you inside the courtroom and out.
Yeah, I mean I won't lie. That's the best part. That's like one of the reasons why I would never want to leave legal aid side, is because like the institutional knowledge, the ability to have a crisis occur and then not have to panic because you can send out an email to 500 of the best attorneys in the country and go, hey, has anyone dealt with this issue? Like, I would love to know if anyone's dealt with this issue. And you get so many responses because the culture of like trying to help each other is so ingrained in working at the legal aid side.
We get so many. I mean, I'm sure it's happened to you. Like in housing court, right? Private attorneys who will go tell their clients or try and recruit clients, like, you don't want a shitty legal aid, then sidle up next to you on the bench and be like, oh, I don't understand DNA. Or like, I don't understand what is this case? Like what? And I'll be like, fucking give me the retainer that you just like.
Yeah.
I have landlord attorneys, terrible people, and they treat you like garbage. And then there's this one landlord attorney who, like, her friends are getting evicted, and she'll give them my number and be like, call her, she'll represent you, which I can't. Yeah. But it's like, either you think I'm good or you don't.
Right.
Well, I mean, everyone. It's easy to hate a housing court defense attorney until you're being evicted.
Right. Well, everybody hates lawyers until you need one, right? Like that's.
Yeah.
Actually, if I could just say, like, I think there, like maybe outside the legal world, there's this idea that maybe people take legal aid jobs as sort of a stepping stone to something else. It's like you're trying to climb a ladder, and I don't find that to be true. Like, everyone that I know at legal aid, first of all, the most brilliant attorneys I've ever met. Everyone is so passionate and so wonderful to work with. And every single one of them does it because they're passionate about the cause. Like, we're here to help people. I took this job thinking, like, I want this to be my entire career. I want to work at legal aid my whole life.
Yeah.
And of all the people that I've mentioned earlier that have left, none of them did it because they suddenly woke up one day and said, actually, I don't give a shit about our clients.
No, I won't lie. I know so many, especially doing attorneys at Swag. I've gotten to know so many private attorneys, and they're all like, yo, bro, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you should just go make some money. And I'm just kind of like, in truth, like, I feel like everyone, like, I feel like it's so easy to be a public defender because I feel like everyone deserves legal representation for free. Like, I think the idea that we all have to play this game of Monopoly called life, and some of us get to not know the rules, and some of us get to know the rules, depending if you have money, just to me just seems insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's an insane concept that like if you have money, you know that blue is worth this, and you know that if you step on this thing, you go to jail. Like, as compared, if you don't know money, you'll find out when you get there.
I mean, it's bullshit.
crazy.
It's like the fucking Law and Order mayor, right? The career cop mayor, just gets his gets his case wiped out, and the taxpayers got charged probably many times our salary to represent him on those cases, right? And the laws, it's just different when you're certain power level, certain class, certain. It's like you're saying, but like, my clients who you're like, oh, we need to get these like shitty, what do they call them? The special gun unit cops or whatever, the anti-crime, whatever. It's like, oh, your clients are criminals. It's like, yeah, but you were, and like, it's washed away for a lot more money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think with talking to private attorneys, I've met some, and they kind of have that tip. They're like, oh, okay, you've been doing public defense work for how long? Okay, by this year you could probably be handling your own cases. And that's just not what I aspire to. That could be different for someone else, because there are some people who are like, look, I do see it as a stepping stone. Fine, I guess, do you. But as you said, the vast majority of people I've met are people who want to do this work for the long term. It's just about having good and fair working conditions, but also I don't know, like with you're talking about like the mayor getting his case dismissed and whatnot. I mean, today I was seeing some like little clips of what's happening sort of with the P. Diddy trial, right? And like his defense attorney, I noticed at least one of them is Brian Steele, who represented Young Thug. And I was like, oh, that guy's a good lawyer.
He said in his jail cell.
He said, put me in with my client. And I was like, that's my man right there. I was like, if I want to, maybe a private attorney like him.
I almost want to go up to the judge and be like, let me do it.
Yeah.
He knew that Diddy money was coming. He was like...
Well, but that's, I mean, even though he's a private attorney, it's not to take away from them. It's just that we want to be able to do this in the public sector. It's very stressful work, obviously. But, I mean, as you were saying about wanting to make sure people have lawyers for free, like representation in criminal cases is constitutionally mandated, right? But your program, Right to Counsel, RTC, is not constitutionally mandated. The city decided wisely to fund it, but it needs to expand that funding if it's going to mean anything to have a right to a housing lawyer if you need one. For immigration, like people, I don't know if people know, but obviously people are very worried about immigrants at this particular point in American history. You're not entitled to an attorney if the federal government is trying to deport you. You're not entitled to one, except for another program like RTC. It's called NYFUP, the New York Immigrant Families Unity Project, NYIFUP. That is a program funded by the New York City Council to provide representation free of cost to people in removal deportation proceedings. There's some caveats about qualifying. I think an income guideline. You have to have certain conditions. So most of the people that NYFUP represents are people that either have or had at some point contact with the criminal legal system and now are funneled into immigration, right? But that's a program that only exists in New York. At least it was the first of its kind. I don't know if it's expanded to other municipalities, what have you. But that doesn't mean that because it's not required, it should just be like, here's a couple dollars, make of it what you can. If we're gonna be New York City, as you said, a progressive city that really cares about protecting vulnerable, marginalized New Yorkers, we need to make sure that we fund all of these services. Now, if they said, okay, well, you know what, Greg, I'm sorry, we need to lay you off because there's no crime anymore. Oh, okay, I'll go.
Bring on the robots. I mean, I can't wait.
Okay, I'll find something else to do. There are other jobs that need doing. I'll figure it out. But as long as this is happening, and it kind of doesn't feel like it's gonna go away anytime soon.
Not yet.
The city and the state of New York should really try to make sure that they understand this is part of what creates a stable, safe city for everyone to live in. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not just, but
we give people services. Like We've helped people like get out of shitty situations, right? Like,
Yeah.
and like I have clients, like it's not every story. I don't want to be too like glossy over it, but like clients who are going through a rough part in their life. I'm sure you have like who like had a drug problem or like were down on their finances, whatever. We get them in touch with like an alternative to incarceration. We get them services, help maybe connect them with job services, and like I'll get calls from people like a year, 2, 5, even now like 10 years later, like clients call just like, how are you doing? I just wanted to let you know I'm doing great, and like that's somebody who's not gonna be like, you know, reconnecting or recontacting the criminal justice system, right? And those are the stories you don't hear because nobody's going to the paper and being like, oh, I want to talk about the time I was charged with a crime, but everything turned out fine. They just want to move on with their lives. So that's not a story that you hear in like the Post or whatever. But you know how you know those lawyers are important, right? The housing attorneys. Who always has an attorney in housing court?
Landlords.
The landlords. Yeah, every fucking time. Landlords aren't strolling in there like without a lawyer. So
Honestly, kind of the flip side of this idea is also that like we're making these demands for better working conditions, for better salaries. It also attracts, marginalized talent. This is currently a job where like you have to be pretty privileged to be able to stay in it. So people are entitled to attorneys that look like them or have like shared backgrounds that understand where they're coming from. If you don't mind me sharing a little bit of personal stuff, like I was a kid.
Share away, baby. This is that type of podcast.
I was one of those kids like in family court who needed an attorney for the child like assigned to them, and now I get to be an attorney. I'm going to be starting a JRP in September. I like, not to be like I was a success story, but like you get to have someone change your life in a positive way, and then bring yourself up out of poverty and bring yourself up to, just do better in the world. And we're not allowing that other side of the story to happen if we're paying people the minimum that we can and only allowing people who have like their own means to survive in this job.
I keep it real true. I did not understand what being a lawyer was at all. I went to law school just wanting to be a lawyer. It seemed like a good idea. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in the projects. And my aspirations was not to become a public defender. My aspirations was to go to law school, make some money. I didn't know what that meant. And law school kind of kicked my ass. And like, in a good way, like the dean of my school told me, look, there's still good options out there. There's still jobs that have nothing to do with your GPA. Go towards those jobs, public service jobs, and you'll still find your way. And luckily, like if you watch one of the other podcasts, the longer story, but long story short, I got into a defense clinic and I realized like, oh wow, this is the job I was made to be. And personally, like I find a way to be happy regardless of the situation. So I feel like and also growing up, this is still the most amount of money that anyone I knew ever had. Yeah. So I feel like it's not hurting me personally too bad. But at the same time, I would say that like I could totally understand someone who like, however they find their way into this job, after going to law school, after putting all this work, would like to be like rewarded way more than their like what the city is currently funding us to be rewarded.
But it's not even just for us, right? Like, I mean, the thing is like, yeah, we represent people who can't afford rent, right? Like people who live 7 or 8 people to like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, right? But what happens is lawyers fucking leave because like when the option B is like, again, making double, triple the amount of money we make, then I have clients and every attorney, whether it's housing, juvenile rights, criminal defense, homicide, has this story. I'm the 4th lawyer on some of my cases where our clients don't know who the lawyer is going to be, who's going to stand next to them at the next court date, because we have just lawyers leaving because like they want to stay. People I thought were going to stay here for fucking ever were like heart and soul, like legal aid lawyers. We're just like, I have a family. Like I can't look at my like husband, wife, partner, whatever, and say, turn down $75,000 extra a year, right? And so it's not just for us, right? It's our clients who are in the worst situations, who, whether they're incarcerated, out, whatever. But imagine being in jail for 3 or 4 years and every 6 months it's somebody else standing next to you because the person who was there has found a job that pays that much more, right? And it's not just for us. It's like, I mean, it might sound trite or self-serving, but it's for the people we represent, right? Like, and they need to know, they need that certainty of like, the person fighting for me is actually going to be fighting for me from now till the end, whatever the end is.